What's up, everybody? It's Chris. I'm here to give my UFC 90 afterthoughts. It's a pretty good event. Maybe didn't live up to the expectations because of the way the main event ended, but what are you gonna do? Freak injuries happen, unfortunately, sometimes in the sport, and just gotta kind of take it for what it's worth and then move on. I did pretty good on my predictions, 9-3. I did really good on my UFC fantasy.com. I came in 40th, but not good enough to win a prize pack. So. Maybe next time. I'm going to go over the undercard real quick briefly. We didn't see these fights on the telecast, but I'm just going to breeze over them real quick. Pete Sale beat Josh Berkman by unanimous decision. I think Berkman's probably going to be out of the UFC. Just not the most exciting fighter, and he's not on it. He's kind of lost the last few. Hermes Franco beats Marcus Aurelio by decision. Aurelio, another guy who I think is probably going to be out of the UFC. Hasn't had the best career so far in the octagon. And he makes a lot of money, so I think the UFC is probably going to cut him, as they feel he may not be worth the contract that he signed to. Dan Miller beats Matt Horwich by decision. Sounds like a pretty routine fight. Miller controlled more on top while they were on the ground. Hopefully we're going to see Miller's next fight televised. Spencer Fisher gets a win, triangle choke, third round over Shannon Gugerty. That was submission of the night. They just showed that part on the telecast, the submission itself, and Gugerty tapping. Spencer... I'd like to see him fight maybe a Roger Huerta or maybe Terry Edom next. Those are guys that like to stand and make for exciting fights, as does Spencer. I don't know how far Spencer can progress, though, in the division, just because he doesn't have really good ground defense. Wrestlers, he seems to have real trouble against wrestlers. But he makes for exciting fights, and I like watching him fight, so we'll see. Tally Slaters versus Drew McFedries. They did show this fight after the main event. As expected, or as at least as I expected, Ladies' first round submission pretty easily. He did get clipped by McFedries, but McFedries got over anxious, got careless. Ladies got him to the ground, submitted him in no time flat. I don't know where McFedries is going to go from here, whether he's going to be in the UFC or out, but he needs to work on his ground defense and jiu-jitsu. As far as Ladies, I'd like to see him rematch either Marquardt, because I think they have unfinished business, or maybe fight Damian Maia, another high-level jiu-jitsu guy in the 185-pound division in the UFC. First fight of the night that we saw, Sean Sherk versus Tyson Griffin. I picked Griffin to win by decision. Sherk wins. The fans, I don't understand why they booed. I think it was pretty clear that Sean Sherk won the decision. I thought Griffin, being a little more versatile on the feet, would give him the edge as far as with his kicks and whatnot. But unfortunately, he didn't throw very many of them. He was effective when he did, but he just didn't throw a lot of them. He seemed to fight in spurts. He'd throw a lot of combinations, and then he kind of seemed to get winded. Sean Sherk never really gets winded, so... Plus, Sean Sherk was just a little bit sharper on the feet, and he got a couple takedowns, and Griffin wasn't able to get any takedowns on Sherk. I'd like to see Griffin fight Nate Diaz next. Nate Diaz has beef with him over previous training together and the way Griffin left their camp. As for Sherk, I'm not sure what they're going to do with him. They got the Stevenson-Florian fight and the Griffin-Sherk fight. I'm not sure what the UFC was thinking of making those fights, because if both Sherk already won, and if Stevenson beats Griffin or Florian, you have two number one contenders possibly for BJ Penn's title, guys that he already beat. So I don't really know what they're going to do there if Stevenson wins. Moving on, Fabricio Verdun versus Junior Dos Santos. Here's another fight I was wrong on. Dos Santos gets first round TKO stoppage real quick within the first minute. I said Verdun's stand-up has looked better since training with shootbox, but not in this fight apparently. Not really much to say. Dos Santos clipped him. Except for Verdun came in a little bit overweight in my opinion. He should get in a little better shape maybe if he wants to have more success. Dos Santos, exciting prospect I guess to look out for in future fights. Moving on, Rich Clemente, Gray Maynard. Maynard wins by decision, unanimous, boring, in my opinion. Not too much to say about this fight, other than Maynard pretty much just controlled the fight, especially when they were on the ground. I'd like to see Maynard fight Guida next. I think it makes sense as far as where they are in the division. And Maynard may not make for the most exciting fights, but Guida does, so maybe Maynard could make an exciting fight there, and we could see who progresses in the 155-pound division. Semi-main event, co-main event, Thiago Alves wins the decision over Josh Koscheck. Alves looked a lot bigger than Koscheck as far as size, strength-wise. I think that helped him in preventing Koscheck from getting him on the ground, which is obviously what Koscheck's game plan was. Pretty much Alves picked him apart on the feet. Not to say he dominated him, but Koscheck did have a couple spots here and there where he had Alves back against the cage when they were striking. I thought he was effective there, but for the most part, Alves controlled the fight. Took away Koscheck's legs, especially by the third round. Koscheck was pretty much a one-legged fighter. Sounds like Alves is going to get the winner of Penn GSP. Let's just say for argument's sake it's going to be GSP. That'll make a good fight. Usually GSP's got size and strength advantage on his opponents. I don't know if that'll be the case against Thiago. Plus style-wise, I just think it makes for a good fight. Exciting fight. They're both good, entertaining fighters. So lastly, the main event, Anderson Silva against Cote. As I said, Cote got injured, unfortunately. In the third round, looked like he blew out his knee. ACL, MCL, one of those. PCL, possibly. I don't really know what to say about this fight other than the fact that Anderson Silva, for some reason, didn't look his normal self in the first couple of rounds. He was kind of playing around. When he did engage, he was very effective, but he just didn't do it much. I don't know why he was laying back and kind of being hesitant and fooling around. I don't quite understand what his game plan was. I think we saw enough to surmise that that Anderson probably was going to win the fight, regardless if it went to a decision, or if he would have stopped him, if he would have picked it up in the next few rounds. Cote will be on the show for a while. I say Anderson probably will fight Okami if Okami beats Lister in December, which I believe he will. If Anderson wants to fight before that fight's made, though, maybe he'll fight in either one of those big December or January cards, and if he does, I'd see it being a light heavyweight. Maybe against a guy like Chuck Liddell, something exciting, something really, it's going to capture the fans' attention. Other than that, I don't really know what else to say. Pretty good night of fights, Like I said, didn't quite live up to the expectations, but that's just because of the way the main event ended. But other than that, I'm out for now. Probably be back with the Couture Lesnar predictions soon. Till then, I'm out of here, guys. Bye.